Welcome to the demo of PC Migration Pro, the easiest, fastest PC migration while the user works. Now, for most computer technicians, migrating a user to a new computer is a manual, time-consuming process, but even more so for the user who would usually have a day of downtime. Typically, migrating a user involves an IT technician with a hard drive, finding and then copying all the files for the user. All the settings, including the profile and email, would then need to be manually configured on the new computer, and all the files would need to be copied back to the right location, risking the user not having all of their data migrated. In this demo, I'll be showing you how you can migrate a user to a new computer while they continue working, reducing their downtime to minutes, and enabling an IT technician to migrate a user with a click of a button. Let's look at the user's old computer. Now, this is a typical user with files on their desktop, data across various locations, including their documents, and very important pictures, which include their personal files, data on OneDrive, and also data on various volumes, for example, an E drive. Now, this is all the non-standard locations where users save data. We also have a company map network drive that's been set up. The user has an existing Outlook profile, and you can see we have an email signature or multiple email signatures that have been configured. Again, this is all part of the configuration that the technician would need to migrate and set up on the new machine. Look at the account settings. The user has an archive PST file in Outlook. You can see that's been mapped already. The user also has various browser favorites that have been bookmarked. In this case, the user is using Chrome. It could be Firefox as well, but there are browser favorites, there are extensions, and also the history of the user. And all of that will be included in the migration. Now let's look at the user's new computer. As you can see, there are no files on the device. No data under documents and pictures and OneDrive and all the locations that we showed you previously. If you look at the user's profile and configuration, nothing's been set up. Outlook is newly installed on the computer, but nothing has actually been configured. So it's a brand new computer just with the applications installed. Let's launch PC Migration Pro on the new computer. And the first thing we want to do is select this as the new computer. Once we've done that, we enter the license key that you'd be provided with. We've been given a link code to link the two computers together. You'll notice that there are 12 licenses remaining. Now, this means that you can buy a license with the same license key for a number of devices to be migrated, making it really easy for multiple technicians to share that license key in your organization. So let's go ahead and launch PC Migration Pro on the old computer. We're going to select it as the old computer and then enter the link code that we received from the new computer. And this is a really easy way for you to connect the two devices together without having to enter any IP address information. That's basically all that needs to be done on the old computer. So let's switch to the new computer to start the migration. We'll see a summary of the migration. So we're migrating from Windows 10 to a Windows 11 computer, and we're going to start the live migration. You'll see it will prepare the old computer for migration, and in the background, the new files will start migrating and being transferred to the new device. Let's see what's happening on the old computer while the migration is in progress. And the user is actually continuing to work. In this case, there's a PowerPoint presentation that's open. The user is working on migration is happening in the background while the user continues. Now, typically, this is where the technician would have had the computer and the user would have lost all of his downtime. The user is continuing to write an email. And again, migration is happening in the background. So let's go back to the new computer, which the technician would typically have. The migration is in progress, migrating the rest of the files. We also have progress that shows how long it will take, and we then migrate the user profile settings over. Great. We can now see that the live migration is done, and you'll see that there were 644 files migrated, 8 gigabytes of data migrated. And again, this includes all the files on the user device. Everything is scanned, located, and migrated, as well as the profile settings. You'll notice that there's one file that's been skipped, and this was because the user was working on the document at the point in time. So now it's a very simple process. The user would save and close their files, they would close down the presentation, they would close down the email, and they would now be ready to hand over their machine to the technician to do the swap out. The technician would then run an update migration, as you can see. Again, it would run through the process of scanning through the user's machine to make sure that we find any new or changed files that need to be transferred for the migration. You'll notice any new files being added to the new machine. And this is a very quick process because we've done the bulk of the migration while the user was working. We're again migrating the user profile settings to ensure if anything has changed. Great, and the update migration is done. You'll see in that case, there were 29 files that were migrated as opposed to the original 600 plus files that were done. Now we simply sign out of Windows and sign back in. And this will ensure that all the profile settings have been applied to the new computer. So let's have a look. We have the files on the desktop that you saw earlier on. We've got the data, so on the desktop, we've got documents, pictures, again, all the user's personal information, the OneDrive files. Simply sign into OneDrive and you can access those. All the local files have been transferred. And again, the data on the e-volume, so any other locations where users could be sharing files. We have the company network share that's been linked again. Start up Outlook, so Office 365 Outlook, and have a look at the profile. It's a quick sign in with your email address, but all the configuration has been done for you. So you'll see that if we look at the email signature has been set up with the reply addresses. Again, this is all the stuff that would be typically manually set up by the technician. Account settings, we have the PST files that have been mapped. This could be multiple archive files for users. You can see all the email that's already there. The taskbar preferences that have been set up. Again, this is all the type of stuff that the user would be familiar with, all back exactly where they had it before, as well as the user's browser favorites that have been migrated. As you can see, we were able to easily migrate the user with a click of a button, significantly reducing the time spent by the technician as well as the user's downtime. Now, PC Migration Pro can be fully white labeled, enabling OEMs, system integrators, and MSPs, as well as large resellers to include or sell it as their own value-added product. Please contact sales@PCMigrationPro.com for more information.